Well, take a look at Bitcoin, and folks, isn't this a fun market where we're actually getting some bigger moves versus since really June, aside from the FTX debacle where it collapsed. But again, beautiful up move here. This is, to me, a pierce of a major resistance. Does it mean that we could possibly continue higher? Of course there's that chance, but I'm actually now in the camp that we probably stall out here. If you look at this area, see the bottom here? If we take a trend line right there and extend it out, look at where we are. So again, could we continue? Absolutely. Again, for me personally, I'm looking at this as an unlikely scenario that we go too much higher in Bitcoin in the near term before we see a pullback. Either way, impressive pierce of this area right here. This was my initial target, and we obviously hit it, and now we're a little bit above it. Let's see where we are later today into tomorrow, and ultimately, do we confirm above this level here? All right. Now, again, as you guys know, I'm holding my Bitcoin. And again, we talked about this as that's the one position I feel relatively comfortable holding, even if we were to go lower, because I don't think Bitcoin's going to go away or go to zero or anything like that. But again, beautiful up move. You know, again, if you look at where the breakout occurred, and I love showing this because it's so powerful. If we take this trend line down here, right, and we put it right to that high right there, that was your breakout. And again, look at the move that's followed suit. Notice how the end of the move is the bigger candles. This is very common. So initially when you break out, people are very suspicious about breakouts. Crypto investors have been burned left and right, so they're going to just kind of see it and be more intrigued by it, but nothing major. But then the key is, as it gets more and more, number one, the shorts start covering and getting scared, and the bulls and the roar in social media gets bigger and bigger, creating these buying frenzies. And again, that's where you get those bigger moves to the upside. Now, usually once the freaking out ensues over potentially a big move in crypto, that's getting close to the end of the move. Just always remember that, guys. That's closer to the end of the move than not, as we have seen in previous bull runs in crypto and in basically any asset, frankly. So again, beautiful move up. Again, if you're really aggressive, you could look to short the the Bitcoin chart right here. I do think you'll probably end up making some money. My bigger question is, do we start to consolidate down like this, staying above this yellow line, or do we break back below, which would be the bearish case, where we start heading down and eventually take out these lows? The other trend line I want us kind of following is this one as well. If we were to sell off, right, this is where, if we had a bigger sell-off, this is where we would first hit some support, taking this lowest point on Bitcoin to here through right here. And again, that would be support right around just above 17,000 per coin. Okay, now if we do break out here, where is your next likely target? There's a couple spots along the way, just above 20,000 at 20,400, and then right here around 21. But the real big one is going to be the highest point right here from when FTX began to collapse. And I want to be clear on that. If by some way we were to get above this level, which is around 21,500, and if we were to confirm, that would actually be very, very bullish for the crypto markets. Very, very bullish for the crypto markets. It might even change my perspective on whether or not the crypto markets have bottomed. But right now, that's not the case. Still, the overall pattern is bearish. And again, the charts are what dictate my analysis, and therefore I have to follow the charts when I give you guys that analysis. Taking a look at Ethereum, Ethereum has also pushed through this down-sloping trend line, also this flat trend line. Again, in a best-case scenario, I would say Ethereum probably has upside to right around this area here, which is around 1640, 1650. But same thing. Notice how you haven't confirmed above the green trend line yet, so we have to watch and see over the next 24 hours what the price action dictates. On the way down, you have the same sort of trend line right here. In fact, I can start it from right in here, and this would be the trend line of support on Ethereum. If we were to pull back sharply, you would expect a bounce around 1,225 currently. All right, looking at Cardano here, and again, Cardano, one that we do hold. It is creeping up just a little bit. You haven't seen the explosive move on Cardano today like you've seen on some of the other coins, mainly because you had that explosive move over here. So it's trying again, but it has to take out this high. If you take out this high at around, just under 35 cents, that's where you can get that explosive move up to this upper range to about the 43 to 44 cent level. And that would be a big move. If we got up there, folks, that would be quite impressive. I would absolutely be taking profits on Cardano at that point. Okay, let's take a look at Matic here, see what we got on Matic. Matic is inching towards my target zone. Target zone right now is the 94 to 95 cent level, so let's keep an eye on that. And again, that is your goal right there. You can see we are very, very close to it. We're trading. Today, the high of the day was right over 92.5 cents. So we've gotten very close. We'll just see if Matic can make one more push. If it did get through this level, then you get kind of an explosive breakout, which could take us a little bit higher. Your best case scenario would be about $1.16. If we did start to fall, same thing. Right here would be support. You also have this area right here. These two lines will converge over here somewhere. All right, let's continue on and take a look at Solana here. Now, Solana's also trying to push up. Same thing. It had this big explosive move into resistance here. Since then, it's been consolidating, which is actually slightly bullish. Can it break this level? All right, this is a big one for Solana, right around 1765. If it can get through 1765, potentially you could get a mega squeeze up towards the $26 level. Again, do I think that's going to happen? I think that's a long shot to get up to 26 in the near term. Longer term, I do think it eventually goes back there. But again, just keep in mind that when Bitcoin runs out of strength, when Ethereum runs out of strength and starts pulling back, it's going to make it even harder for these other coins, these other alts to kind of push up into that level. Okay? So again, we'll keep an eye on that as we continue through. Let's see what else we have here on the radar. We can take a look at Avalanche. Avalanche has continued to be relatively strong, trading around $15 and change, but really in the overnight got as high as 16 and change. It did get above this line here. This is resistance, but look at this. It certainly doesn't look like it's going to confirm to me, which means it's vulnerable to start to pull all the way back. You'll have a little support around 14. If it breaks 14, you could be headed all the way back to $12. So again, to me, this is what I talked about with you guys over the last couple weeks into the end of the year, talking about how crypto had not had a mega bear rally. One of the rallies called rip your face off rallies in cryptocurrency that oftentimes, and we've seen it in the stock market, in the bear market as well. And again, we're finally kind of seeing, you could definitely look at Avalanche and say, yep, that's a rip your face off rally. When something goes up, 60% or 70%, if you look at Solana, it went up 100%. If you look at a lot of these other coins, 50 to 100% was pretty much their norms. That's what we would consider a rip your face off rally in a bear market. Problem is, in a bear market, they usually fail and come all the way back down in not too long. Okay? So again, we'll keep an eye on that as we continue to go through. Again, Polkadot continues to move higher. I have a short-term target right up here. Look at this area right here on Polkadot. So again, if Polkadot gets up to about 565, that's going to be your target zone right there. But again, I will say this, the buzz is back in crypto, and it's so interesting to see how eager people are to throw their hat back in the ring of a bull market in cryptocurrency. And I just warn people, I've been through so many bear markets. Usually, and I will say this, let's go back to Bitcoin. I'm going to give you some wise words that I learned the hard way many, many times over, is when you see this going on, it's very rare bottoms give you that long to buy and accumulate. Meaning that when it does rally, it's usually not a true rally of a new bull market. Instead, it's much more likely to be a bear market rally that eventually comes back in. When you really get a low on a market, like let's take a look at the S&P 500 going back to 2009. Let's go back to 2009 here. Right, so let's go all the way back here. And this was an epic, the Great Recession. This was an unbelievably nasty bear market, but this is what it was. See this? So this is the weekly chart. So 1 week down, 2 weeks down, 3 weeks down, 4 weeks down. This was absolute panic. The volume, if I had the volume on here, was just epically huge. And then look at how fast it ripped right back up. And that was your V bottom. This is how markets generally put in bottoms in the near term. And then eventually you get pullbacks with more upside and so forth. But if you look at Bitcoin, the Bitcoin bottom, right? If you look at that and you say, oh, is that a bottom? Well, here's your weekly Bitcoin bottom. Does that look the same? And the answer is no, it doesn't. So you have to be a little bit careful there in just understanding the likelihood that it probably is not a bottom on cryptocurrency at this point. Okay? Going to a couple other coins, let's keep an eye on Ripple. Ripple, again, if we flip back to the daily chart, only a small update today. Yesterday finally caught a little fire. Today, again, more of a pause day. Still a very poor performance on Ripple at this point. Doesn't mean it won't play catch-up, but certainly not earth-shattering on Ripple here. Let's look at Binance. Binance continues to make a nice move up. Binance, look at this, though, guys. Look at the resistance. So Binance is actually into resistance right here. Take a look right there. See the low here and then all this sideways chop. That's resistance. Doesn't mean it can't get through. If it gets through, you're probably headed in this vicinity right there. But again, this is resistance on Binance. And again, you know, if I had to make a case for it, I would say the likely scenario is we see a pullback in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these other coins tomorrow or over the weekend. Even if they go a little higher first, the likelihood is they're kind of running, at least it looks to me like they might be running out of a little steam. Okay? Let me see what else we have on the radar here as we continue through. Let's go to Chainlink. Chainlink has had a beautiful little up move as well. Although, again, percentage-wise, it's not knock your socks off. It looks like about a 20% move from about $5.40 to $6.40. So a nice little move there. Uniswap, we can take a look at that one. Look at where Uniswap went. And again, I don't remember when I put this line on the chart, but look at the high of the day today, right into that, from $5 to about $6.20. Again, about 20% move up. And again, you know, it's a nice move, but, you know, again, 20% essentially getting back to where it was just in December should not be yet construed as a, you know, essentially a, you know, new bull market, right? Especially on Bitcoin, right? So again, if we go to this chart, it's a great move up on Bitcoin, but we're right back to where we were on midway down on the FTX collapse. In fact, let's do a fib here. I'm just kind of curious about fibs. Let me just go here. So if we take the high of the FTX to the lowest point here, let's see where we are. So 618 would be just above. So you're looking at 19,175 would be a Fibonacci 618 retrace. That might be where we're headed. That actually, and there's tons of resistance right in that range of all this sideways chop over here. So just keep an eye on that. You know, I mean, again, maybe it pushes over 19,000, maybe just a little bit. But again, to me, it starting to look like this is an inside bar fib retrace on the charts. Okay? Alrighty, guys. So, again, I think the thesis, by the way, the CPI data, just to fill you in, CPI data came in exactly in line with estimates. The market the S&P is rallying today. Not a big move up, but I did want to show you guys this, that there's a gap fill here and this downsloping trend line on the S&P. So that also could spell potentially a pullback on the S&P 500 coming in here over the next day, or maybe not Friday. Fridays are hard because remember it's a 3-day weekend for the stock market. So again, you know, maybe it's unlikely you'll get a big pullback on the S&P, but on Friday going into a 3-day weekend. But next week, I actually do think you have some isolation for some selling pressure in the market. So let's keep an eye on that. We'll take it again one step at a time. I will keep you guys posted as always. And as always, thank you for being members. Great to see some action. Let's get this party started, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.